All right, today we are diving into one of the absolute strangest and, funniest moments in all of Shakespeare. It's a prologue from A Midsummer Night's Dream that pretty much seems designed to spoil the entire play before it even gets started. It's wild. So I want you to imagine this for a second. You've poured your heart into creating this amazing work of art, but you're suddenly hit with this very, very specific fear. What if your performance is so powerful, so convincing that you have to spoil it all right at the beginning just to keep your audience from completely panicking? It sounds totally absurd, right? But for one group of actors, this was a very, very real problem. So, let's meet the Mechanicals. These guys are a lovable, if a little clueless, troupe of amateur actors in Athens, and they've just landed the gig of a lifetime, performing a play for the Duke's wedding. And their choice of show, oh, it's a doozy. It's called The Most Lamentable Comedy and Most Cruel Death of Pyramis and Thsby. I mean, with a title like that, you know they are taking this very seriously. As they start rehearsing, a huge concern pops up. But it's not what you'd think. They're not worried about forgetting lines or missing their cues. Nope. Their fear is that their acting is just going to be too realistic for anyone to handle. The lead actor, a guy named Nick Bottom, is especially worried about two key moments. First, there's his character's big, tragic suicide. He is genuinely concerned that the sight of him drawing a sword will absolutely terrify the ladies in the audience. And second, there's the part where a lion comes on stage. They are convinced, truly convinced, that a realistic lion is going to cause a full-blown riot. So how do you solve a problem that, let's be honest, only exists in your own head? Well, if you're Nick Bottom, you come up with a solution that is, let's call it brilliant and also profoundly misguided. He proposes a special prologue, a little pre-play announcement, designed to calm everyone's nerves by basically explaining away all the drama before it happens. Okay, get this. Bottom's solution has three key demands for this prologue. First, you have to tell the audience that the swords aren't real and nobody's going to get hurt. Second, you have to state very clearly that Pyramis isn't actually killed. And finally, and this is my favorite part, for what he calls more better assurance, you have to reveal that the tragic hero isn't a hero at all. It's just Bottom, the weaver. Their plan is to literally shatter the illusion of theater. And you know what the best part is? The play's director, Peter Quint, he doesn't argue. He doesn't say, wait a minute, guys, that's going to ruin the entire story. Nope. He just hears this completely ridiculous plan and immediately goes, yep, sounds good. That one line tells you everything you need to know about this earnest, well-meaning, and theatrically clueless group. So the person who actually has to put this wild plan into action is Peter Quint. As the director and the manager, he's basically the glue, trying to hold this whole chaotic production together. While Bottom is off having the big, crazy ideas, Quint is the one on the ground who has to figure out how to make them a reality. And let me tell you, Quint is in charge of everything. He's got the cast list, he's organizing all the props, and yep, he's the one who agrees to write this spoiler-filled prologue. And to top it all off, he's the poor guy who actually has to get on stage and deliver it himself. He is the ultimate beleaguered manager of this whole comedic mess. Now, here's what makes this whole situation even funnier. While our actors are so clumsily trying to dismantle the illusion of theater, the rest of the play is just swimming in another, much more powerful kind of make-believe, actual, real magic. The play gives us this fantastic contrast. On one side, you have the Mechanicals and their theater, so clumsy and literal that they have to explain away their own story. And on the other, you've got the fairies' magic, which is powerful, it's deceptive, and it creates these chaotic new realities just for the fun of it. The actors are desperately trying to control perception, while the fairies are just gleefully manipulating it for sport. The fairies' main tool for all this chaos is the juice from a magical flower, and it's called love and idleness. The rule is super simple. You put this juice on someone's sleeping eyes, and they will fall completely, hopelessly, and irrationally in love with the very next living thing they see when they wake up. And oh man, the results of this magic are way more dramatic than some fake sword. The fairy queen herself, Titania, gets enchanted and falls madly in love with our actor, Bottom, who, by the way, has had his head magically transformed into a donkey's head. Meanwhile, four young lovers are turned against each other, with best friends becoming sworn enemies in just a few moments. And yet, right in the middle of all this magical chaos, it's Bottom, with the donkey head, mind you, who says one of the wisest lines in the entire play. He just kind of observes that, reason and love keep little company together nowadays. It's this incredible moment of accidental genius from the story's biggest fool. And from the magical point of view, you've got the fairy Puck, who's looking down on all the human drama that he helped create, and he utters this iconic line. For him and the Fairy King, all this intense emotional suffering that the mortals are going through, it's just a great show. It's pure entertainment. But don't worry, eventually everything gets sorted out. The fairies reverse all their spells, the lovers get back with their rightful partners, and everything is harmonious again. And after all their worrying, the mechanicals finally get to perform their play for the Duke, complete with their hilariously spoiler-filled prologue. So all this leaves us with one final question. In a world that has both pretend lions and magical love potions, what really is the difference between the magic we create on a stage and the magic that feels all too real? One tries to show you the truth behind the curtain, while the other creates a truth that feels totally inescapable. And maybe that's a brilliant commentary on why we go to the theater in the first place. Not to be told that it isn't real, but to believe just for a little while that it is.